Hey everyone, Lemmy here, and this is my director's commentary for the Sweden special, also known as The Search for the Secret Swedish Royal Stash. Um, so, I came up with the plot for this as I was going to my nearest airport. I'm like, Big Bird's gotta be in it. So we brought Big Bird along with us to our plane trip to Sweden, which you can see right here. We had a layover in Munich, Germany, so I'm like, that's where we're gonna meet Big Bird. I actually had planned for this one quite a bit, whereas the summer special, as you're seeing right here, was more of just a spontaneous thing. But I mean, I was literally at the airport when I came up with the plot, and I kind of just went with it as I just came up with more of it as I went along. But this was filmed like a week after the last one, after the summer special, because this 2022 was a busy summer for me. I had to go to the beach with my American family, the American side of my family, and then go to Sweden, to the Swedish side of my family a week later, or so. It was like a week or two, around like July, no, it was July 6th, I think, when we went. In like July 2nd or 1st. Wait, would that make a few days? When we, yeah, it was July 6th, and that would make it like, it was barely even a week. I think July 1st was when I left the beach to go back home. So I just left for the next one. So that's why these movies came out so close to each other, because I had actually I think, editing the summer special, like, no, I posted the summer special while I was in Sweden. That's the thing. The Sweden special I posted once I got back home from Sweden. You can see my Bronx Zoo shirt. Unfortunately, I never got to see the rhinos there, but it's all good because I got to see them in Baltimore. You can see here over the Netherlands. You're flying over the Netherlands, and this is right around when I got super into Metal Gear. Like, I became a Metal Gear mega fan at a rapid pace. I think May was when I decided to give it a shot. But as I was traveling, I just kept on thinking about Metal Gear, and I actually hadn't played any of the games, I was just watching the cutscenes. It was all because of those freaking Senator Armstrong memes. I remember even back in April I was watching those memes, and I loved it so much that I made references to it in my book. This was a streusel. We just got them off it was like a German treat that we got off the plane. Also, that part where I was like grabbing at the left side, that was meant to be me grabbing at the carts that go by, even though there wasn't a cart by there. This is Munich Airport. This is pretty much the only movie where we're filming on location. Like, all the locations that I say in the movie are where we actually filmed, pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, like München Airport. I literally brought Big Bird, and I decided to film with Big Bird. That's my mom in the background. She is playing, she's playing as, like, a security guard, and somehow she was tailing me from Germany, or the idea was that, but actually I may realize while filming that made no sense. So I'm like, what if she was my documentarian in crime? And so then she was like she betrayed me, because it turns out she had a side job as a royal guard, and so that's how I decided to make it. You can see her in the back. Yeah, it was all still like post-COVID. So, and that guy in the background is watching me do this hilarious thing. I'm sleep deprived. I got 1 hour of sleep the previous day. This is a statue of Karl XIV Johann, which is from Oversimplified, which me and all my friends love. So when I showed Watercup this and he saw it, he's like, that's so cool, dude. That's Storkyrkan, I think, in the background. Even though I'm half Swedish, my Swedish pronunciation isn't the best. Storkyrkan, I think that's maybe a better pronunciation. And it was actually under construction, weirdly enough. She was pretending to be one of the guards. Since I was sleep deprived, and because of my paranoid personality, I was afraid that because of this, the guards were gonna, like, get mad at me for filming and like then knocking over my camera, I don't think they gave a single crap. The last time we had been to Stockholm had been 6 years, and it was like one male guard we just took a picture of. They were so chill. But this time, they had freaking guns, and they were all women. So it was a big shock from the last time I had been there. I was very sleep deprived, as you could tell, because a lot of these sudden movements were just things they came up with on the spot, like this part. I just wanted to look like a complete idiot in public, and I succeeded, because Joshua Jonathan's a sea monster, and he doesn't know how to, and he's just a jackass anyway. This is us driving through, like, northern Sweden, I think. And the reason you can hear my Swedish grandma's voice in the background and my Swedish grandpa, because they were both in the car, or the words for that in Swedish would be mormor and morfar, as I call them. But I always thought it was moo and mufa, so I always called them that as a kid. I only found out when I had gone back. Oh yeah, so now I'm like, okay, I've been changing my shirt so much, I gotta at least have this one part have it in my shirt. But I think that made it, like, have my change in shirt and explain it. But I think that made it worse. This is in, what's it called? It's like a zoo museum in Sweden. And basically, as you can see, this is actually some house, and the idea was that I had walked for 7 days and 18 hours because I had looked it up, how long it would take to walk between the two. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. So basically, I was just kind of winging it at this point. I didn't know where I wanted to go with the plot. I just know I wanted it to be in Storforsen, which is like a river near Luleå, where I wanted the climax of the movie to be, because it's a river that I would always go to with family and friends in Sweden. But like, so okay, so we're in Luleå now. I'm just being an idiot. When I was in here, like, it was just I had been in 4 years in Sweden, or any other country. I mean, I don't really go to any other countries. I'm gonna go to Japan in 2025, but right now I've only been, if you don't count airports, I've been to Denmark, Germany, and Scotland, and Iceland in terms of airports, and New Jersey, because that's a different country. But in terms of actually stepping outside of the airport, Sweden's the only other country I've been to. Which I know is still pretty cool. A tradition in our family in this cabin is to put pine cones in the fire. You can, yeah. And there just so happened to be a drawing that someone made of Storforsen in there, because the family, especially like the kids, would make drawings and put them up in the cabin. So I'm like, wait, there's a drawing of Storforsen here, so they have a map. I just wanted to make this scene as awkward as possible, and I think I succeeded, because I mean they know a little bit of English. The grandma is part Finnish, but neither of them are very good with English. They know basic English, and they're able to talk with me, but like they struggle. So it made this scene all the funnier, especially when I talked about I told them right when I talked about Big Bird, I want you to get really confused. Aw, here's my grandpa. I'm not species. This was filmed on a Thursday. This part was filmed on like Friday. The Friday before the Thursday, not the other way around. So we're literally basically filming in front of the fire, which is at this point is already going out, and I was actually researching some German for the coming parts, because it's like, ooh, I went to Germany for nothing, and hey, you're my Swedish mom. You should, since I'm doing a director's commentary, you should also help out.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Tell the viewers about what it was like to film this, the story behind it and stuff. So hold on. In this part, you can hear a little bit of shocking in noises, which I heard when I was filming the audio for this part, and I have no idea what that was to this day, and I don't think I ever will. I don't even know what that thing is right there.
Oh, that's a, like you can tell what date it is, time of the day. It's
Nein, danke, ihr seid Feinlänge. Oi, what are you saying? They're so cute.
They did really well, my parents.
Yeah.
It was cute.
I remember one time we were in this cabin and they turned on the radio. It was just someone saying the F word.
No.
Yes, it happened. I think I drew something from Mario Kart in here in this cabin.
Yes, all the kids have drawn, like the pictures on the walls are from all the kids.
Yeah, back when I was a kid, I was drawing stuff in here. This part was, I cut out some dialogue from this part because it made no sense.
Okay.
I was meant to be drinking a shot here.
Mm-hmm.
However, I fell on the floor way too violently in this coming part, and
You hurt yourself?
I kind of hurt myself.
Gosh.
And my knees, when I had fallen, like back in the Halloween special, because I mean, this was only a few months apart if you think about it. That was April, this was
Yeah.
July. I had like rashes on my knees. There she is.
This was a little scary.
Yeah.
It looks scary. She just, she was really good there.
This is the South Harbor of Luleå, and you can see some icebreakers back there. What are they called again?
Icebreakers?
No, I mean the names.
Oh.
What are the names
I
of the
can't
icebreakers?
remember, but yeah.
Luleå Commune. And it just happened to be the name Victoria there.
Victoria.
Except it was
Princess something, yeah.
the princess.
Princess, yeah.
This part was not scripted. I just wanted to film here, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm lost. So really, it was more about the journey to
it's a perfect
Storforsen.
day.
Yeah, look at that. It looks like a dream. We were actually filming with my grandma and grandpa right here, but you can't. They're off camera. They're off camera.
Yeah.
This was in Gammelstad.
Yeah. Should come.
Which is right. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. And it's like this little town off Luleå. And I just wanted to film in here. And I was like, you know, this was later on during the filming process, and I'm just like, I'll make it part of the journey. And I'm like, I won't even say anything. I kind of implied that Joshua Jonathan was slowly like converting to Christianity or something. I thought that looked cool because it was like a small house, big house.
It's really cool, and that's a World Heritage.
A UNESCO World Heritage site.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I remember I had been here and I was like, so many freaking mosquitoes. I think when I was little.
Yeah.
But by the way, I forgot to mention. Did you know how many freaking mosquitoes there are in Sweden? They're freaking.
Yes. That's
So many, especially in the northern Swedish wilderness, where Luleå, around Luleå.
Yeah,
And
especially if it's wet out in the summer.
yeah, you'd think there'd be because it's not really swampy. It's more like forest, but there's a lot. Trust me, there's so much that one of my mom's friends gave me an electric mosquito killer.
Yeah.
And a bird just had that. It was actually. I connected this part with one of my books, and I was like, so I met a guy named Johan Johansson. This is a World War II fortress that I went to with my grandparents and you.
But it's fucked up.
Johan Johansson. That's first of all, it's a JoJo reference. Second of all, I made a book about Johan Johansson in 2023 called Ghost of Stockholm City, and so that means this movie is canon in that. Oh, there are their bird hair. Their bird hair.
Well, if you were there right now, your hair would be flying up like that too.
Well, it would be snowing. It would be snow on the ground. Okay, so look, we actually met those guys. There were some military guys nearby in Boden municipality. Boden municipality. And we just asked to like take a picture with them, and I thought that was so cool. Or take a picture of them. So, yeah, this whole part with the fortress, I added later on because I had actually filmed the part in Store Fortune 2 days earlier, on Tuesday. Let's say that for another way in. I used like 2 different filters for that. Then this part was filmed like the day before, like a few days before I had to go. At my, okay, hear me out. It was my cousin's boyfriend's brother's apartment. He is like a tech guy. He has all these PCs. I remember I played Celeste music for him. And he had all these plushies, and I showed him the Halloween special and the summer special, and so he helped me come up with some ideas for this scene, and he just really made a lot of this possible. And there's my cousin that I just mentioned. So we were like on a road trip together, basically. We were listening to the song Rasputin, I remember, and her boyfriend explained to me the plot of High School DxD with my mom in the car. Thanks. Because I was wanting to find anything that looks like a weapon. The whole point of this scene was to explain like what Victoria's deal was later on at Store Fortune. So I'm like, what's the stupidest name for an organization I can come up with? Swedish Super Alliance. So I went with that, the SSA. That Gandalf thing was also her boyfriend's brother's idea. I call him codename CAS in the credits. Although that sign literally says boobs, and there's text. You'd be surprised how much Swedish people cuss in English. Yes, I finally made it! I wanted to film one of the other reasons I could film the finale here is because my whole extended family and friends went here, basically. So you can even see some of them in the background of some shots at Store Fortune. And there's my grandparents. Watch out for Victoria. They're so cute. So, I didn't... Oh, here is another one of my cousins. Yeah. He just looks so confused. There's another one of my cousins you can see in the background with the Hawaiian shirt. This scene where I stopped to take a break was actually Victoria's idea, or the person who plays Victoria. I actually bought these sunglasses at the beach during the filming of the summer special, so I thought it would be cool to use them here. I cringed while making this part, that's why it's so awkward. I go here like every year. I'm in Sweden, so I know this place very well, and I remember I actually went down walking in that part right there, and it's very slippery. However, I fell on my butt and nothing happened. It was fine, it was smooth. It's just so pretty. But like, it looks, you can see at near the edge, it looks more like a waterfall, but Google Earth lists at a river, Google Maps and stuff. Yeah, my heaven probably looks like this. Oh, come on! Don't sponsor a video. We don't need more ads than, like, why is there ads playing on this video? I don't get paid for this. That's just plain unfair. Okay, so, the idea was that, oh, he's a documentarian, so he's also a nature documentarian, which doesn't make sense, but I mean, none of it really makes sense. Just roll with it. Here it is, the part. I wanted to find a cool spot that would look like maybe treasure could be hidden here, and I actually wanted to go further back, but I decided this part. Here is the MVP. She is one of my best actors, I feel like, in any of the movies. Because she just killed it. And she speaks really good English. Victoria Strömberg, which means Victoria Stream Mountain. me and her were on the car ride there. We're actually coming up with the dialogue. We were filming, and I remember I was trying to make sure she got the point across of what she was saying. She's like, "Yes, we have to protect the nature. It's all about protecting the nature." My mom always laughs at this part. So we were filming here so long that you can tell, like, you can literally see, like, the clouds go by and make it, like, look, you can literally see the lighting change. We act this is the first, like, portion of filming we did at this part, because you can see later on that her hair changes, and she also is wearing a hat all of a sudden. She's also wearing Crocs. You're an experiment, Jonathan. I wanted to go for, like, I wanted to actually make this movie a bit more serious in this part, but of course you still have Joshua's jackassness in this part. This part's a little dumb. But I feel like I did well writing the dialogue, although it's a little in your face. Literally. You can see the whole reason I came up with the documentarian and crime thing was because you could see my mom's reflection in some of the parts you could film, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta explain that, because obviously I gotta explain that, and none of the other people who accidentally showed up in my movies in the past, like when the sea monster mom who had just died shows up in the background of the next scene. Not that, I don't need to explain that, but as I said, it was like her imagining it. But yeah, look, you can see her in the background, so I'm like, oh, maybe I have a documentarian in crime, and she betrayed me, that's why she was the guard. So, yeah, and I feel like that made everything make more sense. And it also explains who's filming. And also, wait, now that I think about it, why doesn't Victoria acknowledge the fact that she's being filmed? Okay, so this part was based off of Old Snake and Liquid Snake's fight in Metal Gear Solid 4. That's why I literally played the music. And here's the thing, I dropped one of the lenses in between where I was getting my catering, my sausages. My lens literally fell in between the wood the wood planks. And it's still there to this day. I bet if you guys at home go there, you'll find it. And it was probably eroded, but I don't think anyone looks down there. I don't know if anyone looks down there. And she did so good with this part. Top tier actor. She's actually been to the United States, so if she comes back, I'd love for her to be in another movie, or whenever I go back to Sweden, of course. I wonder how she'd be as like a side character or a hero. Wait, is that a mosquito or a fly? See what I mean? I think that's a gnat, actually. Liv det liv som ett monster, men var inte ett monster. I actually asked her what is the Swedish translation of live your life as a monster, but don't be a monster. So yeah. If you think it's inaccurate, then you're wrong. That was an outtake, but I thought it was funny, so I left it in. Because I didn't even say anything. So, yeah, the rest is just voiceover of me looking out. The Dead Falls, you can see the sign down there. Of me looking out. And this was filmed before the fortress part and before any of those parts, because that was something to come up with later on. But yeah, look, that looks like a waterfall more than a river, but I don't know. That was, as a kid, it did at least. And if you fell in there, bro, you'd be gone. You'd be a goner. And I was actually legitimately afraid of falling in there. Oh, you guys see my little smirk? I've just filmed here for straight like 40 seconds, hoping that it would be long enough for my monologue. Like, cause I knew I would film over this part with me talking. So you're just gonna have to guess how long you're gonna be talking. You can see my extended family there, and some of more of my cousins that weren't in the movie, maybe because they didn't want to, or I couldn't find a role for them. this is the same thing I did in the summer special, where like they were. It's like where they are now, and yeah, that I think that was my cousin's dog, one of my cousin's dogs. I have so many freaking cousins, dude. That part where what's her name, Visburi, is like the part where she is like walking out. There's no more thing to explain now. Now go. She literally starts walking back because she thought I was finished filming, but I didn't. But I thought it looked creepy, so I kept it in. But I feel like it just confuses most people. Skansen, that's what I was talk about. That was the museum airport thing. South Harbor, did I say North Harbor? South Harbor. Gammelstad Kyrka. Gammelstad Church Town. And as you can see, Luleå Domkyrkan was under construction. That was actually filmed on a different day as when I was filming at South Harbor, because it was a little more rain. I think it was post-rainy. I wanted to use pictures of Sweden during the winter for these parts, so that's why I did it. This was meant to be the ending of Joshua Jonathan's like story arc. I wanted to move on, and I'm glad I did. Although now he just appears as side characters in later movies. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a bit of a little spoiler for a movie that's better to come. Although, yeah, you guys need to come to Sweden. So this part I wanted to go to the beach in Sweden. Because it was summer, so we were filming this part. It looked like I'm driving the boat, first of all. Second of all, this is the beach. There's like no one there, and I thought it'd be the perfect closure for Joshua Jonathan's story arc. That water was freaking cold, dude. I can't even imagine what it's like in the winter. But I mean, we're near the Arctic Circle, so I'm not surprised. My friend got mad at me when I couldn't find a picture for everyone in the Halloween special, and I wish I did. I think I just got lazy. That's like Kiruna, I think. Yeah, that's it for Sweden special. Like and subscribe.